Hello friends, welcome back. In this tutorial we will study about physical address, right? So what happens, the internet, which employs the TCP IP protocol, right? In that there are four levels of addresses: physical addresses, which are also called link addresses; logical addresses, which are also called IP addresses; port addresses; and specific addresses. In this tutorial we will study only about physical addresses. So what happens, the physical address is also known as link address, right? It is the address of a node defined by its LAN or WAN, right? And it is included in the frame which is used by the data link layer, right? And these physical addresses, they have authority over the network, that is LAN or WAN, right? And the size and format of physical address depend on the network, right? For example, in Ethernet, the physical address is of 6 byte and it is imprinted on the network interface card, right? So what happens in Ethernet, the physical address is of 6 byte and it is imprinted on the network interface card, which is also called NIC, right? Now how this physical address works, it will be clear after this example, right? So here we will study an example, after which it will be clear how this physical address works, right? So let us consider that there is a LAN with bus topology as it is shown in this diagram, right? And in this LAN there is a node whose physical address is 10, and this node whose physical address is 10, it sends a frame to another node whose physical address is 87, and this node whose physical address is 87 is also connected to the same LAN, right? These two nodes with the physical addresses 10 and 87, right, they are connected by a link, that is a bus topology LAN. Node with physical address 10 is sender and the node with physical address 87 is receiver. So what happens, at the sender, the data link layer, it receives the data from upper layer, right, and encapsulates it in frame, adding header and trailer, right? And what happens in header, along with other pieces of information, the sender and receiver physical addresses are also included, right? So what happens in header, along with the other pieces of information, the sender and receiver physical addresses are also included. So here the physical address of sender is 10 and physical address of receiver is 87, right? So these addresses 10 and 87, they are included in the header along with other pieces of information, right? So what happens at the sender, the data link layer receives data from an upper layer, right, and it encapsulates that data in a frame and adds a header and a trailer, right? And in header, along with other pieces of information, the sender and receiver physical addresses are also included, right? Now here you can see that there is a bus topology, right? Here you can see that for this isolated LAN there is bus topology. So in bus topology, the frame is propagated in both directions, left and right, right? So what happens, the frame which is propagated in left, it will die when it reaches the end of cable, if the cable end is terminated appropriately, right? And the frame which is propagated to the right, it is sent to every station on the network, right? So what happens, each station whose physical address is not 87, right, will drop the frame, right? Because destination address which is specified in the frame does not match with their physical address, right? So each station whose physical address is other than 87 will drop the frame because the destination address which is specified in the frame does not match its own physical address, right? So what happens, only the destination computer whose physical address is 87 will find the match between the destination address which is specified in the frame and its own physical address, right? So at destination, what happens, there the frame is checked, right, and the header and trailer are dropped, and the data part is decapsulated and it is delivered to the upper layer, right?